this for people who can take it. But yeah, so with the disclaimer, next semester, the chancellor did send out an email that all classes will be in person, but obviously like with the past 2 years, we've seen we can't expect anything, but hopefully it will be in person, but yeah. So our agenda for today is to help create a balanced and rewarding schedule as you work towards the completion of a major or minor in data science. So we're going to start with introductions, and then minor requirements, major requirements, core upper division requirements and comparisons, and sample 2-year and 4-year plans by major and minor, available courses in spring 2022, and then we'll have enrollment information and questions, and then the Q&A session. Oh, so to introduce ourselves, so I'm Ananya. I'm a 4th year majoring in data science, and it's my 2nd semester being a peer advisor. My concentration's applied mathematics. And then if the rest of you or the other peer advisors want to introduce themselves.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Jenna. I'm a 4th year data science major with a domain emphasis in business and industrial analytics. I also started being a peer advisor last year, and I'm excited to join again this year.
Hello, my name is Richard, and I'm a statistics major, math and statistics major, and a minor in data science. And this is my, I believe, 4th semester as a data science peer advisor. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a 2nd year studying econ and psych, minoring in data science, and this is my 1st semester being a peer advisor and just really excited for this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Oscar. I'm currently a 3rd year data science major with the cognition emphasis. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here and try to help as many people as we can.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a data science major. I'm a junior. This is my 1st year being a peer advisor, and I'm really excited to help you guys today.
My name is Ashwarya. I'm a double major in econ and data science. My domain is business and economics, and this is my 1st semester being a peer advisor. Super excited to present this and help.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm a senior studying data science and ethnic studies. My domain emphasis is business and industrial analytics too. And yeah, just excited to be here tonight with you.
All right. So who are we? We are the data science peer advisors. We are here to provide course recommendations and information about opportunities and resources based on our knowledge and experiences. You can find our schedule on our website, which is at the bottom there, or you can email us, and then these are our hours, and we meet via Google Meet. And we are virtual this semester. We also have the data peer consultants who aim to help make data science accessible across the broader campus community by helping Berkeley students with more technical data related questions. This is their information as well.
Oh yeah, so now we'll get into exactly how to declare the data science major or minor, like the courses you have to take. So for the minor, the lower division requirements are Data 8, CS 61A, or CS 88, or Engineering 7, which is a lower division programming class, and also you also have your probability requirement, and you can take either Math 10B, Stat 88, CS 70, or Math 55, or one of the upper division courses listed below. So there, for the minor, similar to the major, there's 2 pathways that you can take. The first one being the 1 course core pathway, which is you have to take Data 100. The second is it's a 2 course pathway, which means you have to take Stat 131A and Stat 133. And for your electives, for either pathway, for the first pathway, you have to take 2 elective courses from the approved list, and the whole list is on the website. And then for the 2-course pathway, you have to take 1 elective course. And for both pathways, you have to take 1 human context and ethics class, and the full list is below. Yeah. So there are overlap rules for the minor. So for operative requirements for the data science minor, students are allowed to overlap 1 course with each of their majors. So for example, a computer science major can count stat or data 100, C100 toward both their major and the data science minor. But for the other operative requirements for the minor, they have to be different from the major requirements of their major. And the second requirement is that a maximum of 1 course offered by or cross-listed with the student majors department may count toward the data science minor requirements, including any overlapping course. So similarly, if a computer science major is taking stat C100 for the data science minor, that's the only computer science, electrical engineering course that may count toward the upper division requirement for the minor. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, an upper division course can fulfill a lower division requirement. For example, taking stat 134 or EECS 126 or the other 2 probability classes to fulfill their probability requirement. But that will not be counted toward the maximum 1 course overlap. And there's no restrictions on overlap with another minor. So if you're, for example, if you're doing a data science minor or a math minor, there's no restriction on any overlap rules for those 2. So if the data science minor, you think that you might not have like room in your schedule or other reasons that you don't want to do the minor, if you want to really solidify like your data science skills, then there's several opportunities at UC Berkeley. So for example, there's Data Camp, which is I think an online organization or online resource that is pretty helpful. And also there's data science organizations that on campus. I think most of them like stop recruiting for this semester, but you can check them out like for future semesters, such as Data Science Society at Berkeley. And there's also Coursera and DLab at Berkeley, which is DLab. I found it pretty helpful just to get like questions with any personal projects that I was working on and things of that sort. And also just if you want to take some classes to improve like different skills for SQL, there's 61A Data 100 or CS 186 for Python, Data 8 CS 61A Data 100, and you can see the list for Excel, R, and for the languages listed in the last bullet point, the resources may be scattered, but there are a lot of online options that are good. So for prerequisites for data science major prereqs, you have to take Data 8, and there's also alternative options in case students cannot get into Data 8 for some reason. So you can either take CS61A or Engineering 7 plus Stat 131 plus Stat 133. And you also have the linear algebra requirement. So you can take either Math 54 or Stat 89A, or you can take the electrical engineering 16A, 16B, or you can take physics 89. And for the calculus requirement, you can take Math 1A or Math 10A or Math 16A. And after that, students have to take Math 1B if they don't like use their AP credit or when coming in to satisfy that. Also, students have to take 61A or CS 88 or engineering 7, and for the data structures requirement, students are required to take CS 61B to declare the major.
And out of these courses, you need a 2.0 GPA in the following to be eligible to declare. And these courses are Foundations of Data Science, which is Data 8, Linear Algebra, which is Math 54 or Stat 89A, and Data Structures, which is CS 61B. And so when can you declare the major? The data science major is open from the 4th week of each term through the week after finals, including during the summer semesters. You should submit no earlier than the last 3 weeks of the term of your last prerequisites. To declare, you first fill out the data science BA worksheet, then you complete the LNS program planning sheet, and if you're eligible, fill out the LNS double major application or the simultaneous degrees application. Then you submit the online data science major application form and attach the above documents. We're going to talk about some core upper division requirements. The first one is Data 100, Principles and Techniques of Data Science. You have to take Data 100 for the data science major. There are no other alternatives so far. It's a 4-unit class, and next semester it will be taught by Professors Josh Hugg and Lisa Yan. The average grade is a B+. And it explores the data science lifecycle, including question formulation, data collection and cleaning, exploratory data analysis and visualization, statistical inference and prediction, and decision-making. The prerequisites are Data 8, CS 61A, or CS 88, or Engineering 7. And a co-requisite is Math 54 or EE 16A, and all the prerequisites and co-requisites will be enforced.
All right, so for the next requirement, it's the computational and inferential depth requirement. For this, you need to take 2 classes, and that has to total to 7 or more units, meaning some of these classes are 3 units, but you can't take just 2 of those. And so essentially what you see here, if it doesn't say not in spring 22, those are available. And so there's quite a wide range of classes you can take, from computer science to electrical engineering. And on the next slide as well, there are much more options. And so this slide is more related to statistics. And the previous slide was related to like CS classes. For this one, it's the same deal. If it says not in spring 22, it's not available. And yeah, so just keep in mind the prerequisites for these classes. There's a bunch of stat classes as well, econ classes as well. And there's some more options, I believe, on the next page. Yeah. And these are unfortunately not available next semester, but they were available in previous semesters, and they may come back in the future for fall perhaps. And so yeah, these are just other options if you're interested. And so yeah, the other requirement is in probability. And one of the options is Stat 134, another one is Stat 140, Industrial Engineering 172 or EECS 126. And at this point, all of these are available for next semester. And yeah, so for this one, it's another requirement, which is the modeling, learning, and decision-making requirement. For here, you can see that 2 of the classes aren't available for next semester, CS 182 and Industrial Engineering 142. But other than that, it's all available. And just like the last slide, there's the average grade information, the professor that's going to be there, and the prerequisites. So keep that in mind.
And for the human context and ethics requirement, a student will be required to complete 1 course. Next semester, the classes that are offered are Data C104, Bioengineering 100, Philosophy 121, ISF 100J, and ESPM C167. Some other courses not offered next spring are Info 188, African American Studies 134, Digital Humanities 100, and City Planning 101.
So in addition to the requirements that we've listed in the previous slides, we also have the domain emphasis. So you can generally choose 1 domain emphasis, in which you have to choose between at least 1 lower division requirement and 2 upper division course, or sorry, 1 upper division course, but the minimum of 3 units each. So the domain emphasis are pretty much the same as we've had in the past. However, we've adjusted for the MCD one that we had in the past, which is now molecular biology and genomics. And they've also added science, technology, and society. So I'll pass it on to Rachel to cover some of our sample 4-year plans.
Okay, hi. So this is our first proposed sample 4-year plan. This is for data science only. So in the first 4 semesters, the first 2 years, you'd only be taking lower division classes. And then the last 4 semesters, you'd be taking your upper division classes. You can see this schedule is a little bit cramped, and we included the breadth classes. In the 8th semester is kind of free to do whatever you want, take additional classes, maybe do a minor, do something else. But you have that last semester open and a few classes in your final semesters open to kind of do what you want. And then the next sample is another proposed sample 4-year plan. This 4-year plan is a little bit more spread out, where we have like you can take less classes every semester, and where you don't have enough time to do another like minor or major, you still have time. You have a more spread out schedule where you're not cramping everything in at once. And then for the next 4-year plan, it's for, or next 2-year plan, it's for junior transfers mostly. It's doing data science major only in 2 to 2.5 years. So this obviously is kind of hard to achieve. So if you ever want to talk to us about how you might make it a little bit easier for you to complete, just let us know, come to peer advising, and we can talk about ways to make our schedule a little bit easier and not have it this compact. Then the next 4-year plan is doing a data science major and applied math major as well. You can see this schedule is pretty cramped, but they're utilizing Math 110 as their upper division elective, but also a class for their math major. So that's something you guys you can do, utilizing one class and utilizing that for your for both majors. And then the next slide is another example about the data science major and econ major. So double major again. And again, they are overlapping their domain emphasis. And then for econ, especially, you can use the domain emphasis, or you can, there's some econ computation classes as well that you can overlap. But basically, again, they're utilizing the combination. In both the last 2 slides, or last 2 sample schedules, had like econ and applied math as their concentrations, but you don't technically have to do that.
Yeah, and then for the data science major and CS minor 4-year plan, we can see that most students choose this route, mainly have the data 100 as their one upper div overlap between their major and minor. Since the prereqs for data 100 include data 8 and math 54, you want to make sure you take that early on. And then also there is luckily a lot of overlap between the lower div courses, so that knocks out a lot of the requirements. And we do recommend you start taking your CIDs or computational and inferential depth classes and upper domain emphasis classes by your 3rd year, just to space them out a bit nicer. And you can declare your data science major by your 3rd semester and your CS minor by your 4th semester. And then next on to the CS major and data science minor. So the inverse of the last slide, we see that there's still a lot of overlap in the lower division courses, and a common upper div overlap between the major and minor is still data 100. The data science minor requires math 54 or the EE16 series, but the CS major doesn't really provide a substitute for the EE16 series. And that's just something to take a note of unless you're like admitted before 2017. And then finally with this plan, you can declare a CS major and data science minor by your 3rd semester. And then now on to the data science major and cog-sci double major. We see that for this plan, the data science major and cog-sci double major has a lot of overlap, surprisingly. And we see that you can declare both majors pretty soon by your 3rd semester. We also see that some of the overlaps like data 8, math 1A and CS 61A. And since it's a double major, we can have 2 upper div courses overlap. And in this just example, we chose CS 188 and cog-sci C 100. And then for our last 4-year plan, we see that this is a cog-sci major and data science minor plan. With this, we can see that with data 100 being the one overlap in upper div, that's just a very common trend, it seems to be. And it's just really easy to do, knock it out in the middle of your 5th semester. And we also see that a lot of the cog-sci major courses overlap with breadths. So that's another way to just knock out more courses. And then we can see that you can declare your cog-sci major and your data science minor by your third semester. And I do just want to reemphasize that these are all just examples, definitely not the end all be all, and there's just way more combinations you can do.
Okay, so lastly, I'd like to remind everyone that we have a newer swap function. If you're first or second year, then maybe this is all you've known, but for third and older years, there is a swap function that allows you to drop a class and add another simultaneously. So essentially, if you're waitlisted in a class, you can swap it out for another class that you're not waitlisted in. Swaps can be done between primary sections like lectures or seminars that you're enrolled in. They cannot be used to switch related sections. Using a swap, you can stay in a course you're enrolled in and swap it with another class you're waitlisted in. If you get into the waitlisted course, you'll be dropped from the one enrolled. If not, you'll remain on the enrolled one. There's like immediate swap versus delayed swap. An immediate swap is when you're immediate, like when you swap with the waitlisted class and you get into the enrolled one, and then delayed is like when you're dropped. Dropping a class and adding another class is not the same as swapping two classes because you may lose your spot on the wait list. And then that's all. We'll now have like Q&A. If you guys have any, you can send it in the chat or let us know. I'm going to stop recording so you don't have to worry about your questions being recorded. And yeah, I'm going to stop screen sharing too.